Hello everybody, welcome to another video of Whiskey 300. Today I want to tell you about Glasgow and a little piece of the whiskey history in the city. So a few weeks ago, Lucas and I had the pleasure to visit Douglas Laing, the headquarters here in Glasgow, and interview Dougal Barr, Global Brand Ambassador for Douglas Laing. For those of you who might not know, Douglas Laing is one of the most exciting whiskey businesses in Glasgow. They started their career many years ago as a blending company. You might have heard about the Epicurean, Scallywag, or even the Big Pit, which is probably one of the most famous blended malt whiskies around. Soon after, they decided to become independent bottlers, meaning that now they have access to some of the finest whiskey casks available in Scotland. And when you thought it cannot get more thrilling, they have decided to take a big leap and recently announced their plans to become distillers as well. How exciting is that? This year, it marks a significant milestone for Douglas Laing since they celebrate the 75th anniversary of the business. What does that mean for all of us whiskey enthusiasts? Well, definitely exciting releases and very innovative cask finishes. So let's dive into our conversation with Dougal and let's discover what are his main challenges and joys of being a brand ambassador for such an amazing whiskey portfolio. Stay tuned and let's discover the magic of Douglas Laing in our interview with Dougal.
Douglas Laing, we are an independent Scottish family-run business for pretty much every aspect of Scotch whisky. So we are a blender, a bottler and a distiller. So really kind of trying to cover all bases with our whisky production. It's tough for me, the way I see it. The thing that really stands out for Douglas Laing, we've been doing this 75 years this year, so it's our 75th anniversary. We're 3 generations now. We started as a blender and we today are still a blender, so that 3 generations of blending heritage that we really play on. I think that really kind of sets us apart in terms of what we try and do, and certainly our area of expertise has always started from the blending side and continues to today with the blending side. With the blending side, it's always looking for what's new, what's interesting, and how they can complement our overall blends that we have established recipes for. With the regional malts, for example, we have the core, the classic examples of our products now. So how can we adapt them? How can we change them and make them fresh and vibrant and interesting and play around with it a little bit more? That's where cask innovation comes in. So that is the introduction of mezcal, tequila, rum, calvados. So certainly it allows us to take a product we've already established with a firm recipe and style and tweak it and add another layer and add another dimension of complexity to it. The biggest challenge we had with the word blend and blended whiskey has always been this idea of a sacrifice in quality. For a long time it was associated with cheaper products that maybe didn't taste as nice or were a bit harsh around the edges. For us, we produce small batch, incredibly detailed with amazing quality ingredients to produce our blends. It is taking something greater than the sum of its parts is really what we're trying to create. It's about layering in different elements from different distilleries that we think complement each other to produce a really complex, interesting, different product. So certainly it's this idea of a sacrifice of quality, which just doesn't really exist for us. So for me, variety is the spice of life. It's about trying as much and as many different styles of whiskey as possible. And I'm not just talking Scotch, try Irish, Japanese, Australian, French, Germany, everywhere in the world is producing some kind of malt whiskey now. And it's just about trying these other ones as well to see how it compares to something like our Scotch whiskey here. Especially your new world whiskies. They're playing around with things that we can't do in Scotland, so therefore you get to try new flavours, new combinations, new casks that you might never expect in a whiskey. So just certainly get out there and try as many different things as possible. The other half of that would be things like adding water to whiskey. There shouldn't be any fear around that. It should be add what you like to your whiskey, mix in cocktails, dilute it down. I generally stay away from ice with whiskey if you're there for talking about flavour. So a few drops of water, bring it down to a level that you're happy with, but never be afraid of adding water. It's just seasoning to your whiskey. So with the nature of the business, our single casks constantly changing. So you always find a new favourite. Every month we'll release new single casks. So that's always just interesting to see what comes up. The regional malts, for me, it is the Gauldrons and the Rock Island. So the Rock Island Mezcal we did last year was amazing. And the Gauldrons is my go-to, that Campbelltown, salt, sweet, coastal style. Outside of Douglas Laing, I will always have a soft spot for Arran. It was my starting point in drinking single malts. It was the island my mum and dad met at. We still have a family connection there. And now with the sister distillery at Lag, you have heavy peated versus light and fruity, and certainly their wine casks, the Amarone and Strathearn cask finishes. So certainly, from Instagram and social media, it looks very glamorous. You're traveling the world, staying in lots of amazing places, meeting lots of amazing people. Generally, it skips over the airport waiting, delayed flights, cancelled flights, missed connections, living out of a suitcase in a hotel room, changing your hotel room to every 2 nights. It's a constant move, and it's a lot of long days, a lot of standing on your feet. But overall, it is incredibly rewarding. I get to travel and talk about whiskey for a living. I can't ever complain about it. And I do get to go to some amazing places, see some amazing venues, and meet some amazing people.
If this video gave you a better understanding of Douglas Laing, who are they, what they do, give us a like and share this video with friends, family, and other fellow whiskey enthusiasts. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to our channel. Visit us at whisky300.com and see you in the next video.